Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 10 of the Dutch Speed Racing League 1 Tier 1 Championship. We are here in Sao Paulo at the iconic Interlagos with just 3 rounds to go and a championship fight that can be sealed tonight and truly on the line. Last time out, we had the USA Grand Prix. Aaron was the previous win and fastest lap, stretching his total to 143 points. Kick sits second on 98 points. K's third on 87, and the chasing pack of Miles, Fireblades and Unique also ready to try and pout in the championship, but they're well and truly out of contention, those guys further down the fourth. This is Interlagos, 4.3 kilometers anti-clockwise circuit, 15 corners, huge elevation changes, and 2 heavy key DRS zones down towards the Retroposter in towards turn 4, and uphill blast from Jungao to the line. Position is the technical medical sector traction out to Pico de Bato, and bravery through the Celerestes defines the lap. Strategy usually sits on the knife edge and between an aggressive one-stop and a two-stop strategy with tight end skyrocketing and the possibilities of safety cars. And yes, the weather could also be the roulette here, as it's always lurking in Sao Paulo. Tonight's picture, title fights after the race, only 50 points remain. If Aaron wins, he mathematically champion whatever anyone else does. If he doesn't win, he can clinch by outscoring points by 6 or more. For example, if Aaron finishes P2, Kick has to finish P4 or lower, and K's doesn't win. If Aaron's P3 clinches Kick, if Kick is P6 or lower, and K's doesn't win, and deeper finishes are possible only if Kick draws further and K's does outscore Aaron by 6 or more points. So the stakes are crystal clear tonight. Aaron controls his destiny, Kick must strike back, and K's could be the spoiler and the outsider. Interlagos then is ready to set sail, for the grandstands are full here. This is the Brazilian Grand Prix, and DSR Tato 1 fight may be decided tonight here in Interlagos, and championships has also been decided too here in the past in Formula 1, as we see a dash of cars making their way out of the pit lane, as we see Mish on the wet Commentaar tyres and a few people on the inters. It is a full qualifying, so let's not forget that procedure. So 18 minutes in qualifying 1, Q2 is usually 12 minutes, and no it's not, Q2 is 15 minutes, and Q3 is 12 minutes then. So we set sail tonight. We're just looking to eliminate the bottom 2, which is 16th and 17th place. Our championship leader is on a flying lap, which is Aaron. There he is, coming through the center exit as we go. Turn 2 and turn 3. Very, very easy to validate the exit of turn 3 and turn 2 there, if you take too much curb on the entry. Now, on the Retroposter Street, headed down towards turn 4. Another critical breaking point as well, because it's so easy. We can see the track limits on the outside as we stamp on the lap pedal once again, climbing towards the hill of Ferradura. Let's see how he takes it. Just a little downshift, a little bit down on the brake, then back to the throttle as he rounds up the hill. As now we're coming towards the most technical part of the track in this middle sector. It can be very difficult indeed. It's super easy to misjudge it and get on the pedal at the wrong time and outdo yourself and lose traction as we head down towards the famous Mergulho downhill section before we head towards John South. This famous corner back in 2008. We saw Lewis Hamilton overtake Timo Glock to clinch his first championship in Formula 1, as Felipe Massa did win the race, but unfortunately for him, he only won the championship by about 30 seconds until it was lost. And Aaron then sets the benchmark. It's a 7.9, but I do expect it to be beaten, hence he's on the really compact tyres, so other people have a fighting chance of beating that time. As we see McLaren across the line, it's an 8.6. So a lot of people on this lap not really lighting up the timing screen. So Unique, Aaron's teammate, goes P2 with an 8.2 there for Ferrari, and he'll also be trying to look to help his teammate tonight in terms of winning the championship and sealing the deal this race as well. Unique, he's also been quick up there. He has scored a few podiums as well, and also a win this season, but unlike his teammates, he hasn't really been there consistently. So if he's there tonight, he could help indeed his teammate and be up there in the standings. But here comes the Red Bull of the Aston Martin. A bit weird to say, goes P5, but of course not really representative. K's has looked strong in the last couple of races. He scored podiums in Monaco. He won at the Italian Grand Prix. Wasn't quite there in the last race at the USA Grand Prix. He finished, I think, P4. So behind Power and Sandro. But here comes the Sauber driver as he sprints towards the line. Let's see what this lap time is. An 8.0, so that's quite concerning considering these guys are on the soft compact tyres, unable to find the lap time they need to beat Aaron considering he's on the medium compound tyres. But you never know, the fuel plans, we could see that the guys on the soft compound tyres could fuel the car for more than one lap, or simply and plainly not really push it, because it is Q1, so you don't really want to take too much juice out in the first lap already. You don't really want to take too much risk in qualifying one, knowing you've got the pace in Q2 and Q3, because, for example, if you push too hard in Q1 and end up hitting the wall, then that's your qualifying done for Q2 and Q3 despite making it in. Because if you do cross the car in Q1 and you make it through with a good time, beating the guys at the bottom, you can't compete because you crashed the car, so you can't no longer take part. So that's why it's critical qualifying. Sandro, the man who finished P3 in USA, in the Haas, returning tonight, currently in the pit lane, as we see the Red Bull driver of Hitwall making his way towards the line. The weather doesn't look promising, does it, around here? It is, I dare say, on the outskirts of the track, just floated somewhere. The weather is. So, weather could play a massive impact in this race or qualifying session, but it looks like nobody's in desperate design need to really fit on the soft compound tyres and immediately set those lap times. So I think the rain could be in the air, just loitering around, just hovering on the circuit, waiting to make an impact. We could see some rain in the race, maybe Q2 and Q3. The weather could appear any second, or it could be fully dry in qualifying and the race. Here is Mel's Makis then in the Williams. Mel's finished P6 behind Kick at the... Oh, there's a car in the way. It's the Aston Martin who clatters the curve, gets out of the way, but still, that is not very good for Mel's Makis, because turbulent disturbance is a major effect on this game. Despite not being fully in the way, you're still disturbing the balance of the car, which is not going to help his case at all. He goes up into P2, 1 thousandths quicker than K's in P3, so a very solid lap time and attempt there, but nobody seems to beat the pace of Aaron, who seems to be the quickest one, despite being on those medium compound tyres. Here goes Bjorn Quid on those softs in the Aston Martin, goes P7, and I dare say that lap time will have to improve indeed, because that lap time will not be good enough to improve. Let's see who else is on a flying lap. We've got Unique. So, quite interestingly, Unique on the soft compound tyres is out there, but I don't know if he... I think he's on a brand new set of soft compound tyres. Is he? No, he's not. So he's on a 1 lap old soft. So you don't want to be really wasting softs if you can help it in qualifying, unless you really need them to get yourself out of Q1 or Q2. But in Q1, ideally, the norm is to use 1 set of soft compound tyres, so you have enough in store and don't have to worry about lap times, because the more softs you use, the worse it gets for Q2, Q3, plus the pressure is substantial as well, because if you have 1 set of softs in Q3, you have to deliver immediately on your first lap, otherwise you have to use soft compound tyres in Q3. So here comes the Ferrari, and he's already 800 up in the first sector as we head down towards turn 4, clipping the apex very nicely. Good car placement on the floor once again as we head towards Ferradura, just sweeping through this right-hander. Look at that, almost kept it pinned, but a little bit of hesitation as he cranks the steering wheel in towards the top of Ferradura, turns 6 and 7, and now coming down towards 8. I didn't do that as a joke either. Hitwall has left the session, unfortunately. Has he crashed in turn 1? So the Haas has gone off at turn 1, but I don't think it's him. Both Red Bulls have retired from this session, so that's a shame there for one of the Red Bull drivers. Hitwall is out of the qualifying session, and so is Dion Stan. Hitwall is out. I'm not quite sure if he left the session or crashed, but unfortunately he will not be taking further part in this session, and a 16.2 will not solidify his position in towards Q2. Here comes Unique, and he goes P4 with an 8.177 and gets closer towards K's, and also Miles Makis there in P2. Now we've got C Podcar on a lap time, 900 up in the first sector as we now approach the top of Ferradura. This is a lovely sequence of corners. I think plenty of people in the past have spun and crashed there too, for good measure. Charles Leclerc being one of them, who crashed there, I think, many moons ago. Can't remember exactly when it was, because it was on a formation lap. But the Brazilian Grand Prix always produces some spectacular, memorable races indeed. Just one of those tracks where it always delivers and has such great entertaining environment as well. Just a classic circuit, and we love to see it indeed. Here comes C Plonker, out just out, and it's foot to the floor, all the way down towards the line. And this should be a good lap time from the McLaren driver, and it is. He goes quickest with a 7.924 and exactly 600 quicker Then Aaron in P2. There's Ruben in the Kickstarter. Ruben goes P3, just ahead of Miles Mackis there in the Kickstarter. Hasn't really looked as strong as his teammates. Misha goes quickest now. Look at that. Absolutely out the ballpark there for EVR Misha. And that is a sensational lap time indeed. And that will definitely secure himself inside the lucrative top 15, which you need to get yourself through. So Kicker Daniel haven't set a lap time just yet down there in the Williams, but Kick is coming in a flying lap. It was joined by the session, and going on board with Kick right now to see how he progresses in this session. This is a very important day for him as he heads down towards turn 4. It's a 17.1 for him, and don't be deceived by that fastest first sector because it doesn't always tell the truth, but we've got some close margins in the field. Daniel goes P3 and only 4,000 slower than Seep in P2 there, so marginally close between second and third place there, which is a very good indicator for a close race. There's about 3 people with a 7.9, 3 people with an 8.0, so it's nicely set apart there as Kick heads downhill towards the end of the middle sector, which is a 51.7. As we now stamp on the loud pedal once again for AMS Kick. What can he do on his first official flying lap in the Williams as he opens the DRS up? And let's see what the lap time is from the Williams man. He does beat a championship rival, but we all know that Aaron sets his best lap time on the mini compound tyres. Does he have any intentions to come out on the softs? I don't know. Is he saving it for Q2 and Q3? I think it's quite wise for Aaron to do a lap on the mini compound tyres and save those softs for Q2 and Q3 because they could be very important indeed and could be a factor. But now Kick is in P2, should be safe, and Fireblaze and Jay are out there on the soft compound tyres as well, so let's keep an eye on their performances as we see Profitox goes up into P2 with a 7.6 and a nice handy lap time there in the bag to try and solidify himself inside that lucrative top 15. Both Red Bulls are on the cusp, and I dare say both Red Bulls are going to be knocked out in Q2, and that's Fireblaze and Jay, all they need to do is set a lap time. It could be the slowest one because Jan Stan hasn't set a lap time and hit was on a 16.2, which is not good enough indeed. That's like intercondition area. All Profitox there, but he is on an outlap, so it doesn't really matter. But Fireblaze, we head down towards the center S's through turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3. They come at you thick and fast, and it's all about reaction, all about precision and smoothness on the steering there. On the ball once again, you cannot afford to hesitate through turn 2 and turn 3, because if you do, you can find yourself up spinning in the wall in validation as we head through turn 4. It can be very smooth on the steering. I think there was a little bit of a twitch there for Fireblaze at the exit of turn 4, but I'm not quite sure how much it will affect him. It shouldn't affect him too much, and all he's looking to do is get himself inside Q2 as we now head through the slowest part of the racetrack, 8, 9 and 10. This is turn 9, this slow left-hander. It feels like a bit of a lifetime, and now we're getting towards turn 10 when we saw Alex Albon and Lewis Hamilton make contact back in 2019, which gave Pierre Gasly his first podium of the season in his career as well. Very good stuff indeed. A 52.0 is not the best middle sector we've seen so far. I think I saw Kicks at the best middle sector with a 51 something. But here comes Fireblaze. Doesn't need to put himself under pressure because he knows that he's got the pace to get himself towards Q2. More people are joining, which is good, as Fireblaze goes P4 with a 7.9 and narrowly beating C Pogka for the top 4. I think it's not a wise thing to do for Aaron to be on the soft compound tyres right now, because you know every single person right now in the top 15 is safe. They're all safe. They're guaranteed to make it through. There's no need to be on the soft compound tyres right now. Save them for Q2. And you could possibly need them just in case he validates in Q2 and Q3. So I'm surprised he's gone out there again, although Enzo has just joined. So I think one more person could be eliminated in this qualifying session. So Enzo could leapfrog somebody. But Sandro, it's not looking good for him so far. He needs a clean lap time on the board. Now, more people could be valid. More people could be knocked out qualifying because now 2 more people have joined. So we've got a real risk of people going out here. Only 2 more people could go out this qualifying session because Hitwall and Deal Stan are definitely out. Miles Marquez in P11. A bit of a precarious situation for him, I dare say. A bit of an unknown if an 8.0 is good enough or not. So, best hope the guys behind doesn't improve. I dare say Kays will. Kays will definitely improve. But beyond Red Bull, I'm not sure because the pace didn't look quite promising, if I'm being honest, in the last few races. No offense, of course, but it's truthful. So I don't think that those two. You know what? It could be. They could be a threat. But on board with Sandro as he now makes his way towards turn 9, heading towards turn 10 right now. He's sweeping in towards the outside there on the floor once again, and seems like he's got a good exit downhill towards Magulio. Hits the end of the sector a 52.0. That's the same kind of territory where Fireblaze was, a 52.0. So he could be P5, P6, P7 area. So let's see if he does manage to get himself inside the top 6. My prediction is P6. Let's have a look right now. P5, I was close. It's a 7.8 for Sandro. Qualifying's almost at the duster, but how many minutes are left in this qualifying session? Because Enzo and Kevin Jelly need to get the pit lane right now to try and get themselves on the board and in the pecking order. 1 minute left, so there is only one chance. Those two need to get the pit lane immediately. Kevin is out there, but what about Enzo? Enzo, I think he's making his way out of the pit lane in the Racing Bull, although we've got to shuffle backwards a bit in the pit lane. I saw on the minimap. Kays could be in danger. He's currently out there right now. Not surprised, unsurprisingly, as he now makes his way towards the top of Ferradora. Just sweep it through. Let the car do the work. Let the car roll in. They're taking a lot of cover the outside there too. Hits the apex very smoothly as well. Now coming down towards turn 9. Just be patient. Get as close towards the inside as you can. Knee on the outside for good measure as we head down towards turn 10. Now, it didn't seem the rear of the car rotated. It seems like he had a massive lockup on the inside front there. So not much rotation, not much bite there from the Kickstarter car. Looks like he's running a bit high ABS, so the car not really doing the work for him in the slow speed corners, not getting really the engine braking to help him rotate the car. Here we are, the DRS wide open for Kays as he makes his way towards the line. He goes P9, so that could be a bit concerning for him when it's Q2 time. Although he did make a few mistakes on his Q1, on this lap, sorry. So beyond P15 for the Aston Martin, and in a bit of what's the word? I've actually forgot the word. Predicament. There we go. He's in a bit of a predicament, but he's 3/10 up in the first sector, so that could be mitigated if he can continue his lap time and find more time in the middle and last sector. Here we go, swooping through Ferradora right now, down towards 5th. It's very interesting to see how the drivers approach these corners, because you can see a lot of people have different preferences for different corners. Like, for example, turn 6, 7. And that is actually turn 6 and 7, by the way, Ferradora. People take it through 5th or 6th. I don't see people taking it through 7th gear, but some people might be flat out, some people might have a slight lift off, some people might have a quick dab on the brake. But I love to see all these drivers' different preferences. And Bjorn, unfortunately, has lost time in this little sector, so not looking good so far for Bjorn. We don't know what Kevin and Enzo are doing. And Kevin's Kevin's right behind Bjorn. Here we go towards the line we go. It's P15. But what about Kevin? Kevin goes 14th on his first attempt and gets himself inside the top 14. Enzo, what's he doing right now in 19th place? Let's have a look to see what he's doing. If I can find him. There we go. Enzo doesn't look like he's on a particularly good lap time. He's backed off. So he'll start down to P19, unfortunately for him. And seems to be lagging a bit too. He's jumping back and forth. So a bit concerning there for him. But qualifying was done and dusted, and Misha is on provisional pole. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for qualifying after a mishap we had with one of the drivers who got season banned and joined the session. And my opinion on that, absolutely pathetic, because you're wasting a lot of people's time here as well, unprofessional and unsportsmanlike behaviour too. If you're banned for a reason, and if you're creating alternate accounts, like 3 times or different ones I've seen, then it's just absolutely outrageous and sad in my opinion. No 3 ways about it. But forget about that. We are in short qualifying now, so people have the chance again to try and recollect themselves and see what they do. So Miles Marquez is the first one on the flying line. Here we go, down in towards the first corner. I don't believe he is. I think he hit what is. I think he's just up the road. So we'll stay on board with Miles Marquez for now in the Williams. Of course, scored a podium early this season. And here he is with the DRS wide open on the Retro Posture Street, headed down in towards turn 4. Let's see how he does. He hits the brakes very nicely, gets the car turned and cranks the steering wheel, leans on the curb on the outside as well. So nice car placement. I think he's trying to maximise all of the racing track there as well, as you want to do. I don't think a lot of people realise how important that is, try and maximise every single part, because not many people realise they're not doing it. A bit deep in towards turn number 8 there, as we now head through turn 9. It does compromise your run going towards turn 9, but luckily it is a left-hander immediately, so you don't lose too much time there as well if you drift out wide. But here we go down to Maguglia. It does look like a little bit of a scuffy lap right now, so not really the perfect lap time he's expecting. But as he makes his way towards Johnstown now, a bit of a wobble on going out there too. Might pick up a distance slipstream off the back of his teammate here, but here we go. On towards the main street. The first lap time on the board is going to be an 8.0 set by hit wall, but Miles Marquez is now making his way towards the line. A 7.7 for the time being. The best lap time we saw was the 7.2 from the one and only Misha, so expect some replica to happen there for Misha as C. Pogba goes P2 with a 7.808. So as Aaron now goes quicker with a 7.4, 3/10 quicker than Miles Marquez, and that betters his lap time in Q1 in the last session with an 8.0. Remember, he did put on the mini compound tyres, so we didn't see his true pace, as Povatox goes quickest now with a 7.4. So surprise there for me, considering I'm not really seeing him up there and be like competitive in the last couple of races. So nice one there for Povatox. And let's see if anybody can beat that and better that. Yannick goes P3 just behind his teammate there too for good measure. So the championship standings then, I will read you that very shortly, because it's very important how we understand the championship standings going towards this race, because Aaron could potentially win this if he wins and Kick finishes lower than P2, I believe it is. Here comes Cage now, who's also in the championship fight. He's P3, he goes P4. Better than his Q1 attempt last session, 7.687 there. So progression there for Kays, and a promising signs as Kick goes P2 in the Williams, just behind Povatox for the time being. And Fireblaze is the next one to cross the line in the Alpine to see what lap time he can set for the Alpine. Goes P4, just behind Aaron there as well. So Aaron looking comfortable so far, but Kick is there. Kick is in striking distance, literally. I think that's Kick behind him. It's not, it's Lucas, not Lucas, sorry. It is Miles Marquez. Miles Marquez, of course, being teammates there with Kick. So there are your first official lap times on the board for you then. It is Povatox on pole position. Did somebody just lose something out of the first corner? Was that a bit of bodywork going off there, or bollard? I'm not quite sure what it was, but something just flew off the car there. Misha, however, in P13 was the quickest in Q1 last time, but as I said, a representative to his standards lap time. He's done 2 laps on the set of compound tyres. Times end up down in P13, unfortunately, but we know he can do better than that. So expect to see him up there once the session progresses and goes on. So it is Povatox for the time being on pole position then. And we're just waiting for the second runs in this qualifying session. Majority of drivers are in the pit lane then, just waiting for their second runs around this track. Classic circuit built back, I think, in 1973. Senna took his first home win, I think, in 1991. I think where he collapsed as well. Track has a lot of history. The last Brazilian race winner around here was Felipe Massa back in 2008. Luckily, they've got a Brazilian on the grid this year in the name of Gabriel Bortoleto, the AF2 champion. So I hope Gabriel Bortoleto does all right this weekend in Sao Paulo. 4.3 kilometers, of course. And let's see what the weather's like for Interlagos, Brazil in real life. Hopefully it's wet. Do you know what? Sunday it's going to be raining, and it says 20% chance of rain. So it could rain in qualifying and the race. Thunderstorms on Saturday, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens on Saturday. You know what? This could be another spectacular weekend. Brazil always produces some amazing races. For example, last year, Brazil, where Verstappen went from P17 to P1, and that was a spectacular drive, no doubt about it. Definitely the drive of the day for sure. Even if you're not a Max Verstappen fan, you got to admit that was one of the best drives. He's just caught up as well, and he has always had a good record around here in Brazil. 2019 he won here, supposed to win in 2018, but of course Ocon took him out in the second corner. Then he won in 2023, was it? I think he did. Won in 2024. Didn't win in 2022 because that belonged to George Russell. And 2021, when Lewis Hamilton won the race from last on the grid. Hamilton and Verstappen do have good track records around here. I think Schumacher as well also has a good track record around this circuit. But I think Verstappen is most likely to win this weekend, given the pace and his reputation around here in Brazil. On board with Pavatox, he's on his second flying lap. So let's see how he progresses down towards turn number 9. This left-hander, and it's very slow indeed. Just be very patient on the throttle. It's all about patience. Don't get too greedy. Don't stamp on the loud pedal too early, otherwise you'll lose traction. Now we're heading down towards Maguglia, flat out left-hander. Now as we head down towards Judge Side, just pick your braking point. It is very difficult to swap your braking point through. There's no real reference point of where your braking is. It's just about instinct and feeling. But he's a 10th up in the middle sector with the DRS wide open, and let's see, can the McLaren man improve on his lap time and progress his way towards the top? Yes, he can. What a lap time indeed. It's a 7.206 there from Pavatox in P2, and let's see if anybody can beat that benchmark. Miles Makis and Yannick currently on a flying lap there too. We've got Misha down in P14, almost 300 up in the first sector. So he must have lost it in the middle sector somewhere, did Misha. He was blisteringly quick in the last session. It was a 7.2 or 4 he did in Q1. This is short qualifying now, so expect times to be ramping up dramatically. The track evolving all the time. Grip ramping up as we head down towards turn 10, in towards third gear, swooping in and diving out very nicely as we head towards Magulio. Downhill left-hander. Let's see if he's up or down. He should be up by 0.8 of a second. So this should be on course for a decent lap time. So he must have messed up in the exit of Judge Sal, which is quite unusual unless he picked up too much curb or got across the outside. That could be an also scenario where he messed up. But here he is towards the line. It's a 7.2. Oh, 0.003 of a second separating first and second place. How close can he get around here in Sao Paulo? And now Sandro with a blistering middle sector, almost 0.3 up, but has a bit of a wobble on out of Judge Sal, the most important corner on the racetrack because it leads up to the line immediately. But he might pick up a toe off the back of the Ferrari driver, who makes his way now towards the line. He goes. It's a 7.3, and that's P3. That toe was very handy indeed. That's the championship leader who gave him a toe down the main street. He feeds through the ZRSs right now through turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3 on the power. Then DRS wide open, use the battery. He might get a distant toe off the back of his Ferrari teammate. 600 up in the first sector, which is a good improvement sign already then. And now he's got to negotiate his way through this technical part of the racetrack, which can be very difficult as well. So it's all about adapting to speed and the setup of the car and your impulse as well. Here we go, down towards turn 8. Turn 9, we see the back of the car slide as he hooks the apex like his favourite granny. As we exit turn 9, we go through turn 10, open up the corner through here to try and get a slingshot exit. Hit the apex, back on the throttle once again, diving down towards Magulio in 5th gear, flat out all the way towards Judge Sal, and only up by 0.06 of a second. So not really a promising lap time there from the Ferrari driver. Seen a few mistakes and a few moments where he did slip up, but the DRS is open for the Ferrari driver as he makes his way towards the line. It's P3, so guess what? He found a 10th in the last sector, which is basically one corner, so there's plenty of more time to be found for Aaron there in P3. Kick, pivotal lap time, very crucial for his race, and he's 10th up in the first sector already. It's a 7.4 for him on his personal best, but this could leapfrog Aaron. It could put him on provisional pole if he continue his great form and progress on this lap as it unfolds and develops. Here we go. Down towards turn 10. Many people do struggle there. There's like a bump on the inside which does unsettle the car, and you endure massive wheel spin too. So a lot of drivers have to be careful about that curb, or bump shall I say. And he's a 10th up in the first middle sector, sorry. As now exit John South for AMS kick. Let's see what the Williams driver can do as Ruben goes up into P8 behind Fireblaze. We've got Kick with the DRS wide open. What lap time can he set? It's a 7.4 and stays in P5. So did improve on his lap time, but not on his positioning, as we see a few more people invalidate on their flying laps. Sorry about that, went into pause by accident there, but K's not looking promising for him so far, down in P10 with a 7.6, a championship contender, and desperately needs to score some good points if he wants to stay within championship contention. But his dreams are fading ever so slightly, unfortunately, just slipping away in this qualifying session. As we've got 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. The good thing about this track, it is a short track, which means that you can set multiple lap times, about 4 or 5 more laps than your average Spa, Belgium, etc., and Singapore, the longer tracks. So you do get the benefit of you can do more lap times around here, just in case you slip up as well. Tyre weight is not too significantly high either. So you do have that advantage in terms of making a mistake, but it's very costly in like Singapore, Belgium, etc., where the track distance is very long, 7 kilometers, and Baku, so you can't afford to make too many mistakes there. Every single driver is in the pit lane whilst there is a null on the track. Daniel goes P3, by the way, very good last time indeed for him. Whilst there is a null on the circuit, I'm going to read you the championship standings right now. Aaron, 143 points ahead of Kick in P2 98, K's in P3 87, sorry. Mel's P4, Elite Frogs Fireblaze with 71 points, Fireblaze 69 points ahead of Yannick, who's got 63. Saint and Panda, P7 P8, 39 31. Means Virus in P10, Power to 1 P11, who did pick up a lot of points as well in the last few races with the podium. Florian in P11 ahead of Nick in P12, Sandro 12th, 13th, Misha 14th, and Lennon 15th place. Obviously not going to read you all drivers out because there's too many of them. I'm on there as well, who scored a few points at the Monaco Grand Prix. So majority of drivers then are back in the pit lane, waiting for the final moments here in qualify to see who could take pole away from Pavatox, who leads the way. See Ponka currently out there so far the flying lap. A couple of hundreds up in the first sector, down in P13. What can this man do? Sometimes can show some great races, and sometimes he does struggle, does see Ponka. Here we go, down towards turn 8. Entering this middle sector is tight, technical and twisty, and requires downforce through this particular part as well. A lot of people do tend to struggle, but look how close it is between first, second and third there in the 7.2s. It is tremendously close between first and second there. Anything can happen. Misha is going on the flying lap. See Ponka, however, 500 up in the middle sector, so might leapfrog J. I'm not quite sure. Depends if more time is to be found in the last couple of corners on this racetrack. Here we go. DRS open quite late there for Seep as he makes his way towards the line, goes up into P12 ahead of Jay, and now on board with Misha, who came out relatively early in comparison to people, but he is on another push up, I think, just to cool up the tyres, as tyre temperature can be taken a little while to warm up around here. So he's gone for the double outlap, it seems. Some people do like to go out early because just in case they've had it on the first lap, they've got the second lap in hand to do so as well, just in case those people who are not very good at setting flying laps and qualifying, it may take up a bit of time to try and progress. But here we go. On board with Ruben, then in the kick Salbert with the DRS wide open, and he's 900 up in the first sector as we hit turn 4 in fourth gear, pack the power as soon as the car straightened up, lean on the curve on the outside, use a bit of ERS as well to try and power your way up towards the hill through turn 6 and turn 7, just a slight dab on the brake as he not really taking the optimum racing line through there, just went out wide, and also the same in turn 8, so locked up heavily going in towards 8 and misjudged his apex as we head through turn 9 we go, and through turn 10 there's a car on the inside. He spins and he touched the grass on the inside there, on the outside shall I say. Unfortunate situation there for Ruben, hitting the grass, and looked like he was on course for a decent lap time, maybe try and get himself or stay in the top 10, but well, it's a bit of a unknown situation here because he's low on the ERS, so he's going to be unfortunately on the back foot as he goes for another flying lap. Here comes Misha through 6 and 7 we go, full speed up towards the hill, 6th gear, down for the gears we go, hits turn 8 very nicely, just kissing it gently as we head through turn 9, just take the shortest distance, try to take the tightest slide through there and try to get a decent exit coming through turn 10, not really utilising as Sandro goes quickest with a 7.177, so he beats Pavatox by about a few hundredths of a second, but Misha is improving significantly in this process, up by almost 0.2 of a second now. He's ballistically quick as he could take pole away from Sancho in first place. Here we go with the DRS wide open for Misha as he makes his way towards the line. It is Misha on pole with a 6.9. Incredible lap time indeed there from Misha, but can Pavatox improve? He's at the end of the first sector. Didn't quite pick up to see what he did in the first sector. Jay goes P7 behind Kick as Unique starts his final flying lap. We've got Pavatox now heading down towards turn 8, turn 9 and turn 10. So let's see what he could do. Seems like it's a decent lap so far for him. Scoops the throttle, collects the car really nicely as we head down towards turn 10, locks up on the inside, but it shouldn't affect him too much as long as he can get a decent exit out of here as we head downhill towards the end of this little sector. It's this improvement by 0.06 of a second as Daniel goes quickest by 0.03 of a second, takes pole away by the scariest, merest of margins. But here comes Pavatox now with the DRS wide open. Can he say anything about it? He goes up or stays P4. And Daniel is on pole position for the Irishman. Mega job indeed. But where's Aaron? Aaron's down the first sector by 0.03 of a second here. Let's see what he does. Oh, blistering in the sector. 0.3 off. This could put him into P2, P3. Now let's see if he's nice and tidy. Ideally, he'll love a slipstream at the back of his teammate, but his teammate's not there to be seen. So let's see what Aaron could do with the DRS wide open as he powers his way down towards the line. He goes, what's this pump? It's P3, a 7.1, and crucially ahead of Kick, which is going to be the storyline for the race. And I think qualifying is done and dusted here, folks, as Fireblaze is yet to set or he completes his lap time. Let's see what the Dutchman does as he crosses the line right now, goes up into P8 ahead of Jay. Jay's behind but not on a flying lap, and that's qualifying pretty much concluded for you. Hello, Kick. It's nice to see you in the chat, my friend. Good luck for tonight. We are set for 36 laps around here in Interlagos. The Brazilian Grand Prix and the championship can be decided right here On pole position, it is ALT Daniel delivering a huge lap under pressure. Misha joins him on the third on the front row, and the two separated just 3,000 of a second. You cannot split them closer than that. But the real story sits behind them. Aaron, our championship leader, lines up P3, perfectly placed to control the start and possibly the entire race if he can get a good launch. He comes into tonight with 45 points clear, and if he wins, the championship is over. Full stop, title clinch. But right beside him, though, is the man trying to keep his championship alive. Kick started P4. He has to finish ahead of Aaron today. Anything else of the season could be effectively ended tonight for him. Behind them, Sandro, Prevatox, Mel's in P7 and Fireblaze P8, all drivers who can influence strategy, pace and race flow. I do believe the formation lap is on. Further back, Unique P10, Ks P11, two drivers who needed strong qualifying results to stay in the title picture, but now face a fight through the field. And remember, Interlagos do not run clean. We've got DRS trains, tyres variable spiked, and there's always chance of rain or safety car that can flip the race on his head. 36 laps, a championship on the line. Aaron versus Kick, control versus survival. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Brazilian Grand Prix. Let's see what the tyre strategies are. So majority of people on the medium compound tyres, which is expected and usually the way around here too. Amisha's been disqualified already, which is not a good sign here. So cold tyres for him at the start, which is not going to pay him any dividends later on in the race. Or at the start of the race, shall I say. So he might get dropped backwards. Here we go, then the grid is set. All 17 drivers waiting for the lights to go out here in this spectacular showdown race for the championship. It's going to get spicy. What could happen in this race? We've seen dramatic stuff before in Brazil when it comes to championship fight. Yeah, we just wait for the lights to go out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And we get underway for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It is round 10, and so far the Alpine gets a mega launch. Here comes Aaron side by side as we head down towards turn 1. Let's see who gets ahead of who. As we now swoop through turn 1 and turn 2, Misha just stays ahead of Aaron for the time being as we fire through the centre extras. Miles Mackis in a scrap with the Haas driver who's alongside him, Sandro. We're going to get yellow flags down there too. It is Fireblaze. Fireblaze has dropped towards the back of the field, unfortunately. There he is in the background, approaching turn 4. But there's contact going in towards turn 4 between the Williams and the Haas there. And oh, who's that? Is that the championship leader? It's Aaron! Aaron's made a big mistake, can you believe it? For the championship, he's fallen down into P15. What on earth happened there? And he's got damage too. Well, this is flipped on its head dramatically now. Kick has the upper hand and Aaron has fallen down into P9. All he needed now was a clean race. P15, sorry. All he needed was a clean race. There's no need to risk anything because he's miles ahead of the championship. But that could come crashing down if Kick can deliver a good result and make things worse in the last 2 races for Aaron, who thought I had to play sanely. But unfortunately, something happened down there in towards turn 4. Incredible stuff indeed, and he might have to pit to get rid of his broken wing. Wow, such dramatic start already towards the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Could it be a Sebastian Vettel situation where he recovered it in turn 4 and went on to win the championship? But it's going to be very difficult if there isn't a chance of a safety car virtual and also running a DRS train with a broken wing. Miles Mackis is right behind Pavatox then as we head down towards the rest of the straight. It's just Daniel who leads ahead of Misha in P2. Then it's Kick, then it's Pavatox, then it's Miles Mackis, all within this big DRS train. Only person in the top 10 on there is on the hard compound tyres. It's Unique, and here comes Seep side by side contact now as we head down towards further door. We go uphill. We can see that Seep had to back out there, wasn't fully alongside, but when he dare set up the inside of turn 8, thinks about it, but no, a bit too far back. What's Aaron doing? fighting with Beyond Quince there, as he now takes the position up into P13. Can he withstand that damage? Is that damage going to affect him too much, especially in this particular part of the racetrack? Beyond now has been attacked by Enzo, unfortunately for him, and the fight's over P14, so Beyond is dropping backwards there like a stone, who didn't take part. Well, he did take part in qualifying. But here we go then, the top two, which is Misha and Daniel. This is a golden opportunity for Kick in terms of this championship, but he's already lost the DRS there. He's already lost the DRS as Daniel and Misha pulled away, so Kick has to remain in DRS range if he wants a chance of taking maximum points and winning this race for his championship. You can see how close Miles Marquez is getting to the back of the McLaren driver as well as we head down towards turn 4. Neither driver or no one is able to make a move. He's stuck in that DRS train. Oh, massive snapper there at the exit of turn 4 for Pavatox there as he tried to get the power, but unfortunately took too much power and got the curb as well for good measure. As we see the fly off in the background, that is contact, and the Aston Martin's at a spin. Oh my goodness me, just made slight contact and he goes into a half spin and tries to recover as he cuts the grass there too for good measure. Massive oversteer there for Kick as well, trying to get out of turn 10, but not able to get the power as well without losing the rear end of the car. He's able for the time being to stick within this DRS train. That's the main concentration for Kick, but Pavatox, however, can't be the same said to him because Miles Marquez is right behind too. Kick is barely hanging on to the back of this DRS train a second as well, so he has to use a lot of battery to get himself closer towards the top two. Are they going to scrap it out towards turn 1? Yes, Misha up the inside there, but Daniel's going to do the switchback on the way over, but I don't think he has enough space there to try and do that, and he doesn't, so he stays behind for the time being. Nice move there for Misha, but will Daniel fancy getting him back towards the electrical straight? I think his wife stay behind him, try and save the battery as well, but he thinks about dives to the inside, but has to bail out. Miles Marquez is now side by side as we head towards turn 4. Was that contact, or did he just lose it by himself? Was that rear locking the brakes there? And Sandro's up to P5. The Aston Martin's got the track. It's Red Bull, unfortunately, who's gone off the track there. It seems down towards turn 3. As what's happened there to Sieb? Sieb spun. Sieb has lost his wing and spun at the exit of turn 4. No safety car, no virtual safety car for the time being then. So the race isn't going to be neutralised, but we still get going. And Sieb has retired on the track. Luckily, no safety car either. Although I think Aaron would have dearly loved one for his strategy. But he's retired on the track and no longer keep it going. So Kick is back within this DRS fight, within the DRS train, which is very important for his race now. Can he now try and save a battery and settle in on the long run now? Because he had to use a lot of it. He had to drain all the battery there to try and get himself closer towards Daniel and Misha. But now he's pulled away. He's in a really comfortable spot. He's in a spot where he can take a lot of points away from the man in P11 who's got front wing damage of Aaron. So Aaron just needed a clean race. He just needed to try and get as many points as he can, as we see a battle going in towards turn 4 here, but not for the time being. Fireblaze, the early perpetrator who spun as well the exit of turn 2 and turn 3. Now he has, Red Bull's retired in the pit lane. He's in P13 on the back of this train. Not quite sure what happened to him, if there's contact or 3 wide. We did see some people go 3 wide in towards turn 1, which never works. There's barely the space for 2. But it's the first lap thing, so I think that it's one of the first lap misdemeanors really where it's going to happen. You can't unfortunately do anything about it. But it looks like Daniel starts struggling now, and Kick is right behind his gearbox, waiting to pounce, and I think he should do now because he's holding up the Williams driver who wants to focus on winning this race. So Daniel has got DRS, so I think it's wise for Kick to go through and keep with the DRS range. He needs to overtake. Now he does, in towards turn 1, but I dare say it's a bit late the brakes there. And I think he should have gone through sooner instead of later, because now he's cost himself probably the DRS here because he went wider towards turn 1. So not a smart move there for Kick. He should have simply walked past Daniel to keep in DRS range of Misha, but instead he ended up breaking in. He ended up fighting the braking zone, which cost him time, and the gap is over a second there. So yeah, that's not ideal for Kick whatsoever. Probably try not to use too much battery either in the process, trying to get past him with pure DRS and no battery either. Our other championship contender, KUK, is in P9 on the hard compound tyres. Not looking competitive so far, but hopefully for his race, as the race goes unfolded, he gets himself back within the fight. The man that scored 2 podiums, the man that won the Monza Grand Prix 2, has a horrible look up every time in towards turn 10. So must be struggling with the brake bias or something. But Kick, however, now finds himself in P2. There's a bit of a gap between first, second, and third. Every single driver there in the top 4 over a second within each other, or out of each other's DRS range. So a bit of a field spread here going on. But does Kick have the outright pace to catch Misa now? Because when you're at the DRS train, it's so difficult. You've got to push all the time against somebody else's DRS range. No slipstream, no benefit of the toe. It's just pure pace, raw pace. And let's see which one of these two has got it. 5 lanes overtakes Ruben, goes up into P11 there. Where is Aaron? Still down there in P15. So he's pitted then onto a new safety compound tyre. So he feels like he can't sustain the damage anymore. And he's hoping for damage limitation, really. There's nothing he can do unless the safety car comes out now. But what a costly moment as well. Imagine that if you lost the championship because of that moment in towards turn 4, losing all those bunch of points when you had a massive championship gap. If I was Aaron, I would have took it easy in the first few corners. But you never know, just like this season where Max Verstappen's holding down both McLarens, anything could swing around and change within a second. Maybe Brazil as well. Verstappen could get closer towards Norris and Piastri, and both McLarens will be under massive threat for when Verstappen arrives on the scene. So Daniel's able to stick in DRS range and Kick. Yeah, Kick should have just overtaken with a straight and have the DRS in the next straight to try and get closer towards Misha while saving battery, because it's really cost him there as well. He tripped himself at the foot, and unfortunately outside the DRS range the gap's gone to 1.7, so Misha clearly holding some ground and also got some formidable pace to keep that gap over a second and keep extending too. So now he's in clean air, can utilise it and see the true pace of the Racing Bull driver. Whilst Kick trying everything he can. He's also low on the battery too for good measure. Got Daniel still behind him. I think Daniel and Lucas Kick should leapfrog every time. So what that means, get past him on a straight and you do the same thing on the next straight, so you can get DRS to the back of somebody and try and bring that gap down onto a second, because I don't think raw pace. So my mic just disconnected there. Hopefully you can still hear me. But I don't think Kick could get to more raw pace, unfortunately. It seems like Misha has just got the edge over him so far in this race. There's still plenty of time to go in the race. Anything could happen. Anything could change. So is the pit lane comes Daniel, sorry, onto the set of hard compound tyres. Let's see if he can try and get the other cut on these guys ahead. My mic was muted, so I was talking. See Kays and Unique go side by side through turn 1 and turn 2. Let's see how that unfolds. In fact, they are side by side at turn 4, goes through Ferradura right now. And looks like Kays got the advantage. He's up into P6 there, ahead of the Ferrari driver. The Ferrari is in a championship fight. He's helping his own teammate, but unfortunately for him, there's no defence there from Unique, as he tried to, but Kays just made a perfect move on the outside there and got him. Anybody else going to pick this lap as well? Track position is very crucial. And the undercuts are quite powerful around here too. So let's see if anybody else decides to call it a day on the mini compound tyres and pit at the end of this lap. Let's see if Misha follows swiftly. He does not. Sorry, I thought he was about to cross the white line there to go to the pit lane, but that does deceive me as well. So the top three are happy to stay out. Elon getting the first stint. Maybe a one-stop strategy, maybe. I think it's definitely a one-stop strategy because that's the quickest way to go, but you do have to manage your tyres in the first and second stint. You've got to make sure you've got to eke them out a long way in the race because a two-stop strategy is just a bit too time loss around here, just too significant of a time loss delta. So you really would be doing a one-stop around here if you can help it. Some people do get forced into a two-stop because, of course, might have been suffering tyre problems. So Sandro did not do the undercut on LT Daniel there. Stayed behind despite being a lap younger or older and more experienced. Fireblaze does get ahead of Hitwall. He goes up into P8 now. Bit of a quiet race for Fireblaze in this one, as Enzo gets a 3-second time penalty as well for good measure down in P14. So most common places like the center S's, it's so easy to make mistakes through there at that particular part of the racetrack. But where is then the leaders coming through right now? Jumps out the final couple of corners. Is this the moment where they decide to respond? Or are they going to still continue? I think the one-stop strategy is the way to go, in my opinion, as they still do continue on this lap. It's giving more of a chance of the likes of Daniel and Sandro to the undercut. But what about the tyre offset these guys will have towards the end of the race as well? Like, for real, it's going to be a bit of a stretch for those guys there as well. Maybe doing the old one-stop strategy, you have to save the tyres towards the end. Well, these guys' tyres will be much fresher and they can catch them. As Ruben gets a 10-second penalty for speed in the pit lane, unfortunately. So race threat there for Ruben. It is so detrimental picking up a penalty in the pit lane because that's just race ruin, really. There's nothing you can do about it unless over the pit lane when the next safety car comes out, whatever. It's so frustrating when you pick up a penalty in this game. 10 seconds is a lot of time. It's like an eternity waiting in the pit lane. No joke. Lap 12 out of 36. Reached a third of the race so far. And it is Misha leading by kicking P2. Pavatox and P2 ahead of Miles Makis, who's done a good job to hold on the back of Pavatox. But I wonder how long these guys now are thinking about doing a pit stop, getting off those mini compound tyres. But on the hard compound tyres, I think it's a bit too early for them. They don't want to go on the hard compound tyres right now, so it's still a bit too early, it must be said. The gap to lead is like what between Daniel, as we see Jay in a scrap with Miles Makis, who's been swapped twice, and Case is up into P5, so no defence there, nothing that Miles Makis could have done to prevent that. He just had to be a cork in the bottle, unfortunately. He got dropped out of sync, and now here comes Aaron on his mini compound tyres, looking very racy. Miles makes a mistake, and Yannick goes through to P6. Sorry, not Aaron. Yannick is now up to P6 after a mistake from Miles, who seems to be twitching on the exit of turn 3, but no surprise there because the mini compound tyres are degrading heavily and coming towards the end of their peak performance and grip and life as well. So that's why he's struggling there against Yannick on the hard compound tyres, who should be theoretically quicker than the guys in the mediums right now on all mini compound tyres. Misha has pretty much got this race under control from start to finish. He's done such a good job so far, maintaining and controlling this pace to a high degree, being chased down by Kick, making no mistakes and making, well, small margins or small errors, but still correcting them. Flawless drive so far from Misha as we see Hitwall and Daniel go at it. Hitwall is on the old 12 lap medium compound tyres, so no competition there for Daniel. That was very important though to get past him, so he doesn't lose time as we head down towards John Sauer. So it is lap 14 out of 36 here. It is still Misha leading. The gap is 2.3 seconds. Somebody joined and left the party, sorry about that, but I think my party's not open. The gap is 2.4 seconds between Kick and Misha. But Kick is not really gaining, is he? He keeps losing time every single lap. It looks like Misha has got the better of him by taking out a few tenths here and there on every single lap. As Cage does get past Yannick and Jay, goes up into P4, side by side with the Kick Sauber. As through goes Yannick, he's up into P5. Next target is Cage. Done the whole hardcore part tyres, I say. So I don't think Jay could do anything about it on those mediums because those mediums sure now have been shot through the roof. And there is nothing they can do to try and recover them at all. So I think that Sandro will definitely get the undercut. Daniel will definitely get the undercut too because they're taking a lot of time. But watch out for the tyre towards the end. The offset strategy might not always be working, but on this track you can overtake. So Watch out when the offset happens, when they have much fresher tyres in comparison towards the rivals ahead by pitting later on and maintaining the managing stint. So the top two are pitting in this race, and Pavatox as well, so they're getting rid of their mini-cup bar tyres and ready to go with a new set of boots to the hards. Miles Makis, a 10-second penalty for speed in the pit lane. It's such an easy thing to do. It gets caught out because you arrive there at high speed and slam and jam on the brakes there, hoping you adhere to the pit lane speed limiter. Now we see Unique behind, but more importantly, as he gets past him, more importantly, where is Misha rejoining in comparison towards this? There's no way the undercut has worked, has it? No, sorry, he's way far behind. So the undercut has worked for the guys ahead of Daniel and Sandro, but judging by the pace Misha had early on in the race, I dare say he could be a force to be reckoned with. And watch out later on in the race when he does catch up to the guys ahead too. At this stage in this race then, I think Sandro and Daniel's best interest is not to fight, just drag each other in the DRS train, because the more they fight, the better chance for Misha to come through and get some at a rate of not so quickly than expected. So I think Daniel has to work with Sandro. They both have to work together. Don't scrap in the braking zones, just constantly change places on the straight, just leapfrog with the DRS, because if you fight too hard, then Misha will be all over the rear of your gearbox in a matter of seconds. So Jay gets a 10-second penalty for speed in the pit lane. I've done it before. It's so frustrating. Like, I can't vent my frustration because I was about to. Last time I had a race around in Brazil, I was in a podium pay position, potentially the race win. But unfortunately, I spent in the pit lane, which is so annoying indeed. Because the race is just basically ruined at this point. You know what I mean? It's just driving for fun now, and there's no pressure no more. Can't get it removed because it's a legitimate penalty. So yeah, it is so just frustrating getting those type penalties, but you got to have good reactions there. Slamming the brakes at the right time. Don't miss your braking point, as Miles Makis then is fighting with Jay. Goes up to pit. Jay's just pitted onto a new set of hardcore powered tyres, so let's see how his progress unfolds from there in the Haas. So Kick is now in P6. Misha's 3.2 ahead. Misha, though, this could be very interesting. How quickly can he dispatch Sandro and Daniel? When he does catch up towards the scene, will this be a swift, nice overtake for him? And he doesn't have to deal with the squabbles and the BS between the drivers there fighting for pride of position. So Misha would dearly love to get past those two as quickly as he can, so that Fireblaze Kick doesn't gain any time on him whatsoever. And that's the main important thing. We're halfway in towards the distance of the Grand Prix now, lap 18 out of 36. It's been a good race so far. Not much action, it must be said, but sometimes you can't always have that much action, unfortunately. It's just the way things work. So Misha's 3.4 behind, and he will catch these two, no doubt about it. But the question is, though, how long and how quickly can he get past those two without slipping over each other, making contact and allow Kick within his DRS range? They're not back markers, of course. They're fighting for track position, so they have every right to defend against the guys behind of Misha. How hard will they defend there as well? Because you know it's inevitable that these guys behind are going to overtake you. But do you just defend for pride and just try and try to defend for pride, make yourself more happy about it, more comfortable as well, defending from the guys behind. Personally, when I'm on old tyres, I actually don't defend from the guy behind. I just let them go, because what's the point? You're jeopardising your own race, you're ruining your own race as well by going side by side with somebody who you know is going to beat you on pure pace and tyre advantage as well. So, yeah, you've got to lift your fingers sometimes or lose the ego and just give... No, obviously not on this occasion, give the place, but you don't have to if you don't want to, of course. It's up to them. It's up to Misha how to decide how quickly you can get past those two as well. Unique and K's on the hardcore powered tyres probably just goal hanging for a safety car right now, to be honest with you. I don't think no hope for them at all in this race. As we see, Sandro wobbles out the corner at turn 4. Nothing's really happening right now in this race. Just a bit... oh, spinner! Who's that? Who is that spinning? Daniel! Daniel's gone for a spin! Oh my goodness me, Daniel. Oh, what a shame for him. Did he touch the outside curb? Did he inside curb? And Misha has got one less car to worry about now. Although Sandro is catching K's and Unique. So it's actually called the top 3. So I think Misha, when he arrives to the scene, he's got the top 3 to deal with. And Kick is right behind Daniel. So he needs to overtake him now immediately, because he's on old tyres and can't afford to waste any more time being stuck behind the spinning Alpine driver And surely with the DRS wide open, Kick should get him, not on this straight, but maybe the next. But it's very important to get him as well because they're not in the same race at this stage. Completely different strategies, of course. But Kick, though, struggling to get in the DRS race just by having DRS on that lap, it seems, as we head down towards Turn 1 now. Top three pretty much in close contention of each other, the hard runners. First, second, and third, of course, just elongated their first stint. And let's see what they do as soon as they put on the mini compound tyres. I don't really prefer this hard to reduce strategy because it just never works. You know what I mean? It's just too much pace loss. And you've got a lot of time to make up as well if you're trying to catch the guys ahead. The way it goes for me is like I always do mediums to hards traditionally. So Kick on this lap, not able to get past Daniel on this occasion, which is going to be hurting him in this sector, just hindering his performance slightly as well, whilst he gets the disturbing wake of the car behind, or in front, shall I say. Misha's caught up towards the top three, shall I say. This is going to be so interesting how Misha negotiates his way through, because I don't think the guys ahead really care that much. They just want to fight it out for themselves and don't really care about the guys behind on newer tyres. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens and how quickly he can get past those three without any sort of contact or pop or drama. But it needs to be a nice clean overtake. I know Kick's on the horizon soon. Kick is up to P5 ahead of the LP driver. Now he's all caught. Oh, spinner! It is Sandro in towards turn 3. He goes for a spin, and those tyres he's on 11 lap-old tyres. So yeah, that's a bit of a strange one indeed there for Sandro in P7. Just spun the car as Aaron gets it. Oh, Aaron, it goes from bad to worse. He will definitely not win the championship now, that's for sure. It just goes from bad to worse for him. Looks like he was scoring no points at this point while Kick gets all the glory. So Misha is right behind this battle, down the inside. It's a risky move towards turn 10, but he's going to go with it. He's going to stick it out and go around the outside towards Bagulio, and that simply was a nice move indeed. Good job there for Misha around the outside. Had to do what he did and overtake him quickly before he lost time towards Kick, who is his main rival for the race. And surely this should be taking candy from the baby, as we see now Misha on the back of Yannick, but there's a Ferrari down at turn 4 who spun, and down the inside goes Misha in towards turn 1. He takes the lead, but no, goes a bit deep. Will you need to do a switch back? Will he try and get him with the DRS wide open? I don't think Misha wants him to fight him much because he's on older tyres, so I think Yannick is going to let that go. There's no point holding him up. What's the reason to hold him up other than your championship rival? Miles Makis gets a 3-second tablet circle also for multiple infringements, so that's another unfortunate penalty for him after speed and the pit lane. I think he did earlier on in the race. Climb up towards turn 6 to turn 7 now, the highest part of the racetrack, as we duck dive in towards turn 8. There's 15 laps left to go in this race, and I don't think the championship will be decided on the line because Aaron has completely destroyed his race. I'm not quite sure if he made contact with somebody or spun by himself. That remains to be unseen for the time being, so I don't want to make assumptions for Aaron down there in P15. And he retired in the pit lane. He has retired in the pit lane, so the chance to win the championship is slim now, and he definitely won't win the championship as Beyond goes for a spin. Oh, what a shame there for Aaron. No points to the board, and yeah. Is that Misha? Oh, I thought it was Misha in the pits, but I say Yannick is in the pits as well. Get rid of the hard compound tyres to put on a set of mediums. I thought Misha just dived towards the pit there, but my bad. Next up for Kick is Kays, and he should get past it with ease. No problems at all whatsoever. Low on battery, of course, but he does have the DS to assist him. I don't think Kays will be fighting too hard against him. Definitely not on those old hard compound tyres. There's no point. His battle is with Yannick in P10, so might as well let the guy ahead go and focus on your own race. $14 laps left to go in the race, and Misha is well and truly on course for a dominant display of driving. What an absolute monster he has been in this race, an absolute machine. Just kept bridging the gap bit by bit as well, keeping guys out of 1 second major DRS, which is a skill indeed. It will get a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings as well. He's down there P11 outside the top 10. Unique is on the new set of medium compound tyres, so watch out for him. He might come to the field like a hot knife through butter. The gap is 1.5 now between Kays and Kick. So Daniel has not really... Oh, Daniel's in the pit again. Daniel is in the pits again, so that strategy call hasn't worked out for him. He's doing a two-stop strategy, and yeah, this strategy hasn't worked out unfortunately for Daniel. He had to manage in the first stint to keep those mediums alive. Let's see what these tyres are for Daniel. He's on a set of hardcore powered tyres as well. Rejoins, ready to rejoin down in P8 does the LP driver. There's Fireblaze, a quiet race for Fireblaze down there in P6. Not much going on for him right now. Hitwall gets ahead and Daniel slots in between those two, so he gets into P11, P10. But here comes Ruben. Fancy to move all the way down the inside. Not going to happen on this occasion because he knows that he's on all the tyres, so there's no point diving the inside and potentially ruin somebody else's race. So I think that was the best thing for Ruben to just back out there. Daniel's right behind though, the Red Bull driver, who's struggling so far, and he's defending as well on the inside, making Daniel go around the outside. But he's placed the car in the middle, now goes out wide. Here comes Daniel under and over, but it's not done just yet because we're headed down towards turn 10, where chaos could fall. But right the outside goes Daniel, gives enough space towards the Red Bull driver. This is great fighting between these two, but eventually Daniel Hitwall has to concede defeat and take the fall. Unfortunately, down to P10 he goes. Look at that. Kick is 1.4 seconds behind. So Kick's got some blistering pace. He's actually catching Misha there in P1. So we could see a battle for the lead anytime soon. And the point swing will go in towards Kick's favour. The pendulum has swung towards his way as his yellow flags down the first sector. It's Hitwall going for a spin, has he? Yeah, he has at turn 2. But Kick is almost within touching distance of getting himself within that DRS range. As soon as it's in there, he should be good and alright. And this means you could try and save battery a bit more too, because they've generated a lot. Gap is 1.5 still. Not really gained any time. Keeps fluctuating between the gap stops there. Now 1.7. So looks like now 1.5 as well. So the gap keeps fluctuating up and down every single second. But if he can get himself a DRS range, it's a golden ticket to try and win this race. And what a way as well to see your rival retiring, and you're quite far behind on the points, but now he could be well and truly back in contention with about 2 races left to go. So Kick needs to win this race, try and get maximum points. No silly question about it, of course, to bring that gap down humongously. 1.1, so he's getting himself almost with the DRS range. Kick is pushing hard. Kick has found some pace on the hardcore powered tyres then. So it looks like Misha is not safe after all. And we'll see then if we see a battle between the top two. Peppertox has pretty much now been detached and left alone. He's in P3 with nobody around him other than himself. Almost within that DRS range. What does he need to get himself aside and get the power a bit early, try and outbreak himself in towards the corners. He needs to get himself in the DRS range if he can, but saving Misha though, he'll be equally struggling knowing that there's a corner arrival. Do you know what? I like to be the attacker sometimes, because when you're being hunted down, you're just constantly nervous, looking behind to see what the guys what they're doing. You constantly look at the gaps. Whilst you're the attacker, you can see him right in front of you and you're desperate to attack him as well and try and put him into more errors. But Misha feels the presence. Ten laps left to go in this race. We don't know who could still win. The gap keeps just in and out every single time. But what the second mark as Fireblaze does get past, or Unique gets past Fireblaze as they head through the center rest as we go. Now between these two, Fireblaze get a bit of wobble on here. But I really want to see Kick. I want to see a great fight towards the Kick. He wants maximum points. He knows his rival in the championship has retired. This is a big day for Kick to bring the deficit down as well. This is a golden opportunity there, as Aaron really makes mistakes, but this one a big mistake, and he could be looking back in hindsight to see if this is the race that went wrong for him. He's actually left the session, so 1.5 now, so it keeps just dipping out every single time. There's no clear observation, no clear answer to see if Kick will do it or not. All it takes is one mistake from both men and they could end up meeting each other, because when you're being hunted down, you most look at the gaps, the mirrors, rather than what's in front of you. It's very important to stay focused at all times, because it does feel horrible with the hunters. Like, you're pushing absolute best, and maybe even pushing a bit more to try and get more out of it. Try and keep the gap over a second as well, so it's equally frustrating. But you know what? The Aston Martin could give DRS towards Kick. Now let's see where he is behind the Aston Martin, and I don't think that Misha will be appreciating that whatsoever, having the DRS on the back of a back marker to get himself closer and closer. So it looks like Kick will be licking his lips now and seizing the opportunity with his two hands and try and get past. Now he's got the DRS. He's not going to do it on this lap, of course, because he's got low on battery. He just needs to get himself with the DRS range. I think he's a DRS range to the guy behind. Maybe a bit too far back, it must be said. Does he get DRS on this lap? Let's have a look. No, he doesn't. He does not get DRS. I thought he was a DRS range of the Aston Martin in front, but maybe on this lap, or maybe down towards the Recha Posta Cederesses is where he might get DRS. Let's have a look right now. No, is DRS available? Yes, it is. He got DRS. Sorry, he did get DRS. I just didn't see it pop up. I bet Misha is kicking himself right now. Absolutely frustrated what he's just seen with the Aston Martin, as Kick has a massive wobble on our turn 3 here as well, for good measure, trying to push the boundaries of the racetrack as well. But this is good for Kick. The Aston Martin is a saving grace for him. I know it's not ideal, but the Aston Martin, though, is giving Kick helping hands. He may not even know it, to be honest with you, that interference from first to second. He's probably in the race on his own, so he probably doesn't know that the situation that's going on. But now Kick will be so frustrated if the racing bull gave the Aston Martin DRS. Blue flag should appear soon, because we know the guy ahead will pick up. No, sorry, he's in between. He's still in between. I thought that Misha. Yeah, so it looks like the Aston Martin got overtaken again. So no worries there. Now he's in DRS range, striking distance. Now he's got tangible evidence, of course. Try and get past him for the lead of the Grand Prix. But did he get DRS on this lap? Yes, he did. He's got the DRS on this lap to bring himself closer towards Misha. The Aston Martin is an obstacle in the way. As Kick now, with these final few laps of the Grand Prix, what Kick needs to be doing is saving a sufficient amount of DRS to try and attack later on. Don't use it now unless you desperately need to, if you're on that DRS range due to pace. But for example, if it's the last lap or something, then lap 34, because the penultimate lap doesn't always work, you know. I mean, the last lap overtakes don't always work. So when will Kick decide to coordinate this and attack him? He's caught up to the DRS after being out of it in the first and second stint, but somehow managed to get himself within it. And Kick is, Case is right behind Fireblaze for the time being as well. For that battle for P6 is still booming between those two, and the Salvador Case as well. More, I think Fireblaze and Unique there scrapping away for P6, P7 and P8. Well, not P6, P7, P8. Yeah, P6, 7 and 8. The gap is 0.6 of a second between Kick and Misha. Is Kick going to think about the long-term game now? Save the battery up and plan the last lap attack as well. In order to repent this, flag, and he's out of the Grand Prix. In order to repent this, Misha knows that having the DRS is a major factor and beneficial around here as well. Having the DRS will just help you throughout the race, and he knows that Kick will probably go for it later on in the Grand Prix. So how to retaliate is save battery on both ends and obliterate it all. But I think Kick needs to be a bit unorthodox, because if you're too predictable like this, if you leave on the last lap, then your rivals have enough battery to try and stay ahead of you. And it is so frustrating as well, because I've had it before where I could outdrive my rival towards the line, but I didn't. Stay behind them the whole time. So staying behind is not the best the whole time until later in the race. Unique now with the DRS open on the back of the Alpine as we head down towards turn number 4. Couldn't quite get him as he tries to do a switchback and under and over. There is the Alpine scrapping away with the Sauber driver of K, sorry. Unique does not get past for the time being. Fireblaze defending there for all of his might and doing a really good job so far. His hardcore power tyres seem dead as well. Look at the way he's turning in. That was a horrible drift to the corner as well, so he must be struggling on those tyres. Where's the Aston Martin? The Aston Martin's behind now. So Misha won't be happy that the Aston Martin potentially interfered with this battle, because Misha was chipping away at the lap times literally with a constant 80.0, 80.7, well, less than that in the race trim. Very important now for Kick to just save the ERS battery. No need to use it in necessary parts of the racetrack. Although he might pull away, he might not, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, Kick needs to think about this methodically and smartly about it too. You've got like 3 places track attack. Center S's, retro poster straight down towards turn 4, or jump south, or out drag somebody towards the line. That's a possible scenario I've seen before as well. Just out dragging somebody towards the line. Not talking about Lewis Hamilton either, back in 2010, but somewhere else. Or 2008, I should say. Five laps left to go after this one. And Kick is in with DRS Rage of Misha. It's going to go down to the absolute wire here in Brazil. It's going to be huge for Kick's championship aspirations. Aaron completely, unfortunately, just messed up there. I'm not quite sure on his own behalf or somebody else is involved, but unfortunately, he is not there. Just how we go there, 4 laps left to go in this race. Kick is right behind Misha once again, but thinking about the last couple of laps of the Grand Prix where everybody wants to strike BP1, you tend to be vulnerable. But Misha's done a really good job of controlling this race, but unfortunately Kick has been the aggressor and the charger so far, and he's sitting behind, waiting patiently, trying to save all of his battery, ready to go for the last lap attack. Maybe a bit unorthodox here. Maybe try and go for lap 35 as well to try and catch your try and catch your rival off guard, because they know what's going to happen. They're saving battery for that particular moment, although Misha is quite low on it himself. But they are. But Kick is saving battery as much as he can, knowing that the last lap attack will happen soon. And he'll have to DS the back of Misha. Misha's done a really good job so far, but Kick's pace has been absolutely tremendous and blistering. And hopefully his return back to the championship contending standings as well, because it was almost likely win it. You're going to win the championship, but yeah. Almost lap 35, 36. You can see just Kick just lining him up, just get himself into place, set up the tempo, and just waiting for the right moment to attack. When is that moment, of course? Lap 35, lap 36. Is it now? As we head down towards turn 1. We don't really like to see DRS trades, but obviously in these circumstances, it's obvious because it's all about the game, the strategies, etc. It's all about being methodical at the same time as well, being very smart with your moves, etc. 3 laps left to go in this race, and Kick's getting closer and closer to the back of Misha. So Misha is starting to become unsettled and nervous now to see the Williams right behind, who thought it had its own way, but not for the time being here. Here we go, then he's getting closer and closer. But is he close enough? Let's have a look right now. Lap 35. It's the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Here we go. Here we go. Down towards turn 1. Squeeze on the outside there, but it's all it goes deep, and through goes Kick. Kick goes through, but Misha will have the DRS as he slithers and slides out of the corner there. Misha now on the DRS wide open. Can he get it back? Going in towards turn 4. He's running low on battery, and he is, and he goes in towards turn 4. Does he outbreak himself? Yes. Kick sees it coming. It goes off the track. Massive oversteer. Massive wheel spin there for Kick, but somehow Misha maintains the lead of the Grand Prix. Here we go. Out to Judson once again between these two. And let's see what happens going in towards the first corner. DRS wide open there for Kick. Can he do what he did on the last lap and take the lead as we head down towards the first corner? Battery being used as we head down towards the breaker. So down the inside it goes. It's a late move, a late send. But the side-by-side in towards turn one. Kick takes the lead of the Grand Prix. And Misha gets a terrible exit. Kick is in the lead, but can Misha get it back? I don't think so. They're both running low on DRS. Wow, what a race indeed. And that is the end then of the fight for the lead. I don't think anything can happen from here on in now. But Kick, wow, what a day for him. What an absolute day for him. We are now in towards the closing stages of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Kick has led second half of the race with consistent pace and controlled approach. The turning point came when Aaron retired early in the race, removing the championship leader from contention and opened the door to Kick to capitalise. Since taking back track position, Kick has managed the tyres, maintained a stable delta and avoid unnecessary risk. The guy behind him, the guy is making his way now towards the final couple of corners. And Kick is about to make his way towards the line. He goes, and it is Kick who wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. This is massive for the championship, and he takes down a lot of points away from Aaron. This result has a direct impact on the championship. Aaron retired early in the race and scored no points here today, but Kick cleared to the 425, reduced the gap to standards and assuring that the fight will continue. The championship will roll over to Mexico, and more pressure is shifted back on towards Aaron now. Behind the race winner, we have Misha in P2, and third place is Pavatox, both maintaining good consistent pace and avoiding hit incidents during the closing phases. The point scoring positions round out, and that is the Brazilian Grand Prix concluded for you. It is Kick who wins with a fantastic longevity, pace, and control. Well, it wasn't really control, but had the pace to claw his way back through the field, it must be said, despite losing DRS. And this is going to be helping him in the championship. There's big new doors open right now for some people, and it's definitely Kick. Sorry, my bad. Struggle to speak English there for a moment. I'm going to interview the race winner now. Yeah, why not? I'm going to interview the race winner, get Kick to join this party. Here he is, the man of the hour is in the party. Kick, is your voice allowed to be shared, mate?
Yo.
Hallo Kick, hoe gaat het?
Hallo mate. Ja, goed met jou?
Het gaat goed.
Yeah, I'm a little bit sick, but...
Gefeliciteerd, Kick.
Thanks,
congratulations on an absolute fantastic win. So basically the first stint you were attached a bit as well, but down in fourth and third place, and you couldn't really catch the top two. All of a sudden, in the second stint, you just found some pace out of absolutely nowhere as well. So did you think at all there was a chance of winning the Grand Prix?
Yes, I've not practiced really well. So how more laps I did, the better it was going. But yeah, I'm happy with the pace in the second stint. So I'm happy. I'm a little bit sick, so Yeah.
Oh, get well soon, mate. Get well soon. And in terms of the
Yeah, thanks,
championship
mate.
as well, you bring a whole bunch of points down towards your rival. Explain how significant it is now for your confidence going into towards the next few races. Seeing your rival retire and you grabbing maximum points when you didn't think that you're going to win the championship today. So, does this improve your confidence? Do you still feel like there's a fighting chance now?
Yes, I'm happy that he retired. So I hope we can go to next races good battle, and we will see what we can do.
And on the last lap as well, when you overtook Misha, were you a bit nervous and come back into you as well? Because historically, people have outdragged the rivals towards the line. So, was you a bit nervous on the last lap of the Grand Prix when it happened?
Yes, I don't know how much ERS he had, but I was happy I can overtake him in the last lap. And dirty air was also a problem. So I'm happy that I am P1.
Also, as well, Kick, how do you feel for the Mexican Grand Prix, mate? Are you confident there? Are you strong there?
Brazil is a good track for me, but not very. Wayne, I'm not so good in the Wayne, so I was happy it was dry, and yeah.
And how do you feel about the Mexican Grand Prix next weekend, mate?
Mexico?
Yeah, I think it is Mexico next week. Let me have a quick gander.
I don't know. Mexico. I'm not very good at that track, so we will see what I can do next week. And I hope I can finish in front of Aaron. And yeah.
Yeah, well,
Mexico is not my track. I'm not so good at it.
Neither mind, mate. It's absolutely terrible. So, yeah, I hope you do well in Mexico. Keep up your form because you're just taking a whole chunk of points away from Aaron, and that could have a massive, significant impact for Aaron's championship as well. It was next race. So essentially, Kick, you got nothing to lose because like you're the one who hunted him down, and you didn't expect this whole of points. So, do you think that Aaron might struggle a bit with pressure as well going towards next coming races?
I think so. Mistakes is I think he's under pressure, and I hope I can make him in another fault, and we will see what is going next week. So I'm happy I won this race, and we will see in the next races what I can do, and I hope I can win the title this year.
Well, goed gedaan vandaag, and yeah, congratulations on the win, mate. You did an fantastic job. You should be proud of it as well from being outside. Well, the DRS train in the first few bits, it looked like the top two just pulled away from the rest of the field, and all of a sudden you caught up. So, congratulations on the win, mate, and I wish you the best when the next race is coming up in Mexico, mate. Any last words to say?
Thanks, mate, and I hope you're doing well. And nice commentator, you were a nice commentator, and yeah. I see you, I think, next week in STN, commentating with
Tomorrow.
Milan. Tomorrow is no race.
Oh, shoot.
Not a race.
Sugar.
Next week, Brazil, I think.
Oh, yeah, it is true.
Yeah. But you doing well?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking.
Nice.
Nice to see you doing well too.
Thanks, mate, and I see you next week then.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much for your input. I appreciate you joining me. And now that concludes the Brazilian Grand Prix. What a showdown that was on the last lap. And the Kick came out on top as victorious, and his championship's hopes are starting to now get into light as he's bringing the gaps down now in the point system. Alan's got to watch out there because now he's under massive pressure when he shouldn't have had the pressure in the first place. But can he bounce back in Mexico? Join us back for Dutch Races Series at 6:30 UK time on next Thursday to see what happens in the next race. I'll see you all later. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.